Hello, Jan. Hello, Dollhouse. Highlander. Thank you guys for coming back. I apologize for the late evening. I know it's a Sunday evening and people have to get up and go to work, so I'd like to be mindful of your time. Hey Jan, I just had a ways to go. For those of you who don't know, I live in the Bronx, which is another borough of New York City. There are 5 boroughs. Hi, Morena. Thank you for coming back, guys. Thank you for inviting your followers. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for the hearts. So for those of you who may not be familiar with the New York City area, there are 5 boroughs that make up, New York City, which is really a cluster of these boroughs that are all joined by bridges and tunnels. And so I live in the Bronx, and the Essence Fest, or the Essence Street Style Block Party, was taking place in Brooklyn, New York. And so I had to drive from Brooklyn, drop my sister and my nieces and nephew off in Manhattan, and then get to Brooklyn. Get to the Bronx. So I just pooped. Oh, okay. Some things I won't repeat. So for those, God bless you for Scope. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. I'm always excited to be on Periscope with you guys, because I love being able to chat with you. It gives me a sense of, what you all may have questions about, what you all may have concerns about. And so it's just a pleasure to be able to chat with you all, because I've been through, my natural hair journey for 4 years. I'm still learning things that have helped me, or that continue to help me. And so if I can be here to help others, it's a true, honor and a privilege. So I thank you all for even joining me this evening. I know that I said, and I keep looking over here because that's where, it seems normal. But anyway, I know the camera thing is there. Let me try and bring this here. Like this. Okay. So yeah, it's a pleasure to even be here with you guys. I feel like we're all together when we're scoping. Whereas when I'm on YouTube, I'm recording something, I'm editing something, and then I present it to you all. And I'm like, I hope they like it. For your first year. Yeah, that first year, girl. The first year is a trip. If you had seen me my first year, you would have been like, ooh, I feel for her. I went through so many different things with my hair in my first year. I had some crazy styles going on. But yeah, learning your hair that first year is really crazy. And it's wonderful to have a resource of people that you can, tap into, for some type of guidance and some tips and stuff like that. So it's really helpful. So yeah, like I was saying to everyone, thank you for joining. I'm not tired. I'm actually super excited to even be here, but I'm also mindful of the fact that I know that people have to get up in the morning and go to work, and so I don't want to keep you up too late. And I didn't mean to come on the broadcast late, but that's just the way it worked out. I usually don't go to events on Sundays. Usually Sundays are laid back, and so coming on the scope at 9 o'clock is easy. And I wanted to ask you guys, would 8 o'clock be better for you? That way. Oh, thank you, Miranda, for sharing with your followers. Would 8 o'clock be better for you than 9 o'clock, so it wouldn't be so close to your bedtime? If you all can either tap the screen or comment below and let me know. And then also when you're, it would be easier for you, Patricia. Okay, so, and then also for those of you who I may not be familiar with your names because you're new to my scope, if you can just let me know your names when you're commenting as well, because it's just easier to address you. It's more personable than trying to read some of the handles. Gifted Pat, 9 p.m. Oh, you like 9 p.m.? You're probably a late person like me. Not everyone's late like us, Pat, So I want to be mindful. Thank you. I want to be mindful of, those of you who are tuning in and scoping with me, because this is an opportunity for us to chat. And if you're not here, then I can't really have a chat, right? So I want you all to be here. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay, Pat. So for those of you who may not know me, my name is Abena Palmore. I'm a licensed cosmetologist and a natural hair specialist. I'm good with either. Oh, thank you, Jan. I'm a natural hair specialist, or specializing in natural hair care. And so I also work with those who are transitioning from relaxed to natural. I work in a salon in the Bronx called the Gifted Hair Clinic. It's located at 3511-1 Boston Road on the corner of East Chester. And for those of you who are familiar with the New York City area, it's in the Bronx near Co-op City, which is a landmark location. And for those who are just familiar with New York as a whole, it is near to Westchester. It is the northern part of the Bronx. And so I do see clients between Tuesdays and Saturdays, Sundays and Mondays. Hello. Sundays and Mondays are my days off. And usually what I do is on Mondays, I wash my hair. So tomorrow is wash day for me. And so you can, if you're in the New York City area or the New York metro area, New York, the Bronx, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, you can, I'm going to read your comments later. I'm just introducing myself to everyone. So please hold your comments or share them again after I finish doing the introduction. I don't want to miss anything. So, but yeah, you can book an appointment with me via styleseat.com/Abena Palmore. And you can come in and see me between Tuesdays and Saturdays. And then if you're not able to come in and have me work with you directly with your hair, you can also find me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Embrace Natural Beauty. And there I share simple tips and techniques that have been helpful to me in my own natural hair journey, which has been 4 years, that have helped me to maintain my hair and to keep it in good condition in order that I may retain length. And that has been my hair goal. And so I want all of my followers and all of my viewers to be able to maintain their hair, keep it in good condition so that you also retain length and enjoy your hair and embrace natural beauty of your own. And so that is my goal on my YouTube channel. And then you can also find me on Facebook at Embrace Natural Beauty. And you can find me on Instagram at Embrace_natural_beauty. And here on Twitter and Periscope at Embrace N Beauty. So that's Embrace in Beauty on Twitter and Periscope. And so I thank you all again for joining me. This is my regularly scheduled time on Sundays at 9 p.m. And to accommodate those who need to get up earlier on a Monday morning, I will start to do a broadcast at 8 o'clock, and I'll see how it goes. If I need to, teeter between, 8 and 9, maybe 8:30 to accommodate more people, I will do that. Because again, like I said, this chat doesn't work if you all aren't here. So if you're not available, if 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock is not good for you, it's not good for everyone. So I want to be able to chat with you all. So now I'm ready to receive your comments, your questions. You who have seen me earlier know that I was at Essence Fest or Essence Street Style earlier today. How do I add you? I'm not sure what you're getting at. Just know that, I'm here to, share simple tips and techniques that have been helpful to me. Also, dealing with clients who have various textures and various situations going on with their natural hair. And so if I can help you in any way with that, I'd be glad to. And like I said, I just came from the Essence Street Style, and it was a blast. It was in Brooklyn. Unfortunately, we had a moment where it started to rain, and so everyone started to scramble. But as you know, when it starts to rain, sometimes it teeters off, and we were able to get back into the swing of things, and they had a little bit of a fashion show that I caught like the tail end of it. No, let me be truthful. I didn't catch any of it. I heard it, and I was like, oh, what's going on? And I kept going because we were hungry. So we were heading toward the food vendors. And I think that's when I came on and I did a snippet of a broadcast, because we were going to get some food, but the trucks that they had out there had run out of the food that we wanted. And so we were making our way back. And then as we were making our way back, my nephew, who is 3 years old, took off on his own, and we had to look for him. So we had all of that going on. And for those of you who also were there, when I was doing the broadcast, you know that we found my nephew a few minutes later. So he's safe. We went out and we had dinner. We actually sat down in a restaurant and had dinner because we couldn't eat at the block party. They had run out of the food that we wanted. And so, we went and we sat down and we ate, and that's why my scope is late, because I was driving back. Thank you, Jan. I was driving back from Brooklyn and Manhattan to get here. Your hair is fluffier today. Is that because of the rain or a combination of products? Hey, Dollhouse, if you can also, I'm just reminding everyone, if you can say your names. Okay, thank you, Dee. This week, what I decided to do was to put less of the Butter Than Love pudding as my moisturizer. and more of the Get Slick Hair Smoothie, which are products by Wonder Curl. As many of you who've been following me for a while know that I've been using Wonder Curl products for styling my hair for my wash and goes since about June. And in the last couple of weeks, I've started using the Get Slick Hair Smoothie, which is a moisturizer that's actually more liquid when you pour it out, but the content, or the moisture content, is not as intense as the Butter Than Love pudding. So if I want fluffier hair, I noticed I have to put more of the Get Slick Hair Smoothie and just put the Butter Than Love pudding in this portion of my hair where the porosity is the lowest, in order to make sure it stays moisturized for an entire, 7 to 8 days, which is how long I go in between washes. And so both are moisturizing, but for some reason, this baby helps me to get more fluff. And I noticed a couple of my followers were like, hey, your hair is looking like it's not as full anymore. Did you cut your hair? And I said, no, I didn't cut anything. I just using, different moisturizers. And so Donna, your top 5 ingredients video on YouTube was helpful. I'm so happy to hear that. So happy to hear that. Do you always use the jelly? Thank you. And please, Natural Hair Life, can you please let me know what your name is? And I know this is Pat, right? Jackstone. So you had asked if I always use the jelly. I started using the jelly I think about a month ago, because for the first couple of months I was using the Curl Control Styling Lotion as my styler. And then I had shared with you all that I noticed, thank you, Pat. I had noticed, thank you, Sheena. I had noticed that, I had to keep refreshing my hair, and if I used a jelly, it helped to lay down, the low porosity areas of my hair, which are more resistant than the remainder of my hair, which is more normal porosity. So for those of you who don't know, maybe about 45% of my hair is low porosity, and that's here, and in the crown section, back here, all the way down here. And so a portion of that, Marlena just ruining, a portion of that is extremely low porosity. And what that means is that, you have low porosity, which is up here. It takes more work to get it to define. It'll stay frizzy. Even if I do everything that I do to the rest of my hair, it will stay frizzy longer, or it takes more effort, right? But with this portion, because it's extremely low porosity, it needs even more work. So there are varying degrees of porosity that any one person can have on their head, and the more your hair is in an extreme degree of porosity, the more challenges you're going to face with moisturization, with definition, and all that kind of stuff. You see frizz when you lose definition, and you lose definition when you have issues with porosity because you're not normal porosity. Normal porosity hair is easy peasy. This hair is easy. These portions, challenges. Challenges getting moisture in. And for those who have highly porous hair, their challenge is retaining the moisture once they get it in, because it's easy for the moisture to get in, but it's just as easy for that moisture to go out at the same time. But when you have normal porosity hair, your hair receives moisture and it retains moisture longer, so you can take your time putting your styler on, because it's not going to get dry really fast. The very back at the hairline stays dry. The very back of the hairline stays dry. Yeah, you really need to get some moisture in there. I can't tell immediately from your comment whether or not you're low porosity or high porosity. If you're normal porosity, you tend to have no issues with getting the moisture in and retaining it. But when you have one of the extremes, retaining moisture is always going to be a problem. The top of my head is always easier than the back of my hair. Yeah, so you most likely have, a different level of porosity in the back of your hair that's either high or low. And if you don't have issues with like heat styling, or if you don't have any color treated hair, then most likely it's low porosity. Let me ask you, let me see if I can remember your name. Sheena, I think it was Sheena. Sheena, you had said to me that, the back of your hair is harder to keep moisture in. Let me ask you, Does it take a long time for that portion of your hair to dry after you style it? Like, for example, do you air dry or do you diffuse? How do you go about drying your hair? And how do you style your hair? Do you style it in the wash and go or in a twist out? Okay, so yes, it takes longer to dry. And let me know, are you air drying or are you using a diffuser? And then how are you styling your hair? In twist out or wash and go? Thank you for joining, and as you make comments, if you can please add your name, because sometimes it's just harder to read the taglines or our handles, and having a name is more personable as well. And I thank you for your hearts. Thank you for your hearts. You air dry and you do twist outs. Okay, so that's why I don't do twist outs, because it takes so long for my hair to dry. I air dry, no diffuser or twist out. Marlena, okay. So it's taking your hair a long time and you're doing a twist out. So hi Audrey, and you're doing a twist out. So most likely you do have low porosity. And so it takes longer for the moisture to get in, and then it takes longer for your hair to dry. What I would recommend off the bat is definitely, let's see if I have it. The Butter Than Love pudding is by far the best moisturizer I have used on my hair. And you all know that I had used the Shea Moisture, Shea Butter, leave-in with jojoba oil, vitamin E, and aloe vera for almost a year. I absolutely love that as my leave-in conditioner. I love, 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 love it. It was very thick. You know, it wasn't the best thing to use for low porosity hair, but I used it and I was fine with it, and I always retained moisture. And so since I switched to Wonder Curl, I have noticed this has been the best moisturizer I've used, not only on my hair, but I've also used on my clients' hair. And I've experienced where, you know, I have different moisturizers set out just in case, you know, this doesn't work, and I'll try other things, but this is by far the best. So if you have low porosity hair, I have to tell you, even though this is not yeah, it's empty. Trust me. One of the good things about going to the Essence Street style party today was I actually met with Scarlett, the founder of Wonder Curl, and I got my shipment, my order of all of these products that I had ordered that were back ordered because of the manufacturing situation. What is the name again, this Wonder Curl product? This is the Butter Than Love pudding. I don't know how you can read it. Come closer. The Butter Than Love pudding. And I just got my shipment. It was one of the things I had to get out of my car because the bag broke. We had got caught in the rain at the block party, and it was in a brown paper bag, and the bag almost broke on me, and I had all of this product that I just picked up from her. And so I have a new several of these Butter Than Love pudding. Thanks. You're very welcome, Sheena. So yeah, what's so nice about it. Let me go get one of the new bottles. I'll be right back. Keep those hearts coming. Let me know if you're enjoying this conversation. Thank you. I'll be right back. I promise. Okay, so this is my bag. this is my bag of goodies that broke. I don't want anything to fall out, but let me see. Everything is in here. So I got my Butter Than Love pudding right here, and ooh, I got the large ones of the Get Slick Hair Smoothie. And because I have clients and I need to have my stuff right away, I was like, listen, even if you don't have the labels ready, just give me the product so I can do what I need to do. So let me show you. So even though this looks like, you know, like whipped shea butter, going to look this up. Okay, Sheena. So even though this looks like regular whipped shea butter, when you touch it, it's very wet, and you can rub it in your fingers and you'll see how it'll just disappear, you know, into your skin, and it's not sticky or tacky. Like you all know, I did a review of this product on my YouTube channel, And so it's absolutely, even though it's, you know, in this type of container, like a jar, it's very liquidy when you apply it. Whereas it depends. It depends, Dee, how long it will last, depending on how you apply it to your hair. I actually am very liberal with product because I like for it to do what's meant to do. And I notice that if I go too light, then I don't get, you know, the results that I'm looking for. So I am very heavy-handed. It depends. My hair is pretty much medium to coarse in its thickness. If you have very fine hair, then you need to be careful about how much you apply because you don't want to overwhelm the hair. But on, you know, medium or coarse hair, which is a thicker hair strand in width, you can go a little bit heavier. So I want you to, you know, play around with that and see, you know, if your hair feels like it's weighed down by the product, then you can lighten up. But me personally, I've always noticed that if I go too light on a product, then I see more frizz and less definition. Which butter is in it? Shea butter is definitely in it. Let me see. This bottle doesn't have the ingredients on it. Let me see. This one does. Okay, let me read the ingredients, which I also have on my YouTube channel on the video that I did the demonstration and my review. I'll read it anyway. So the ingredients are aloe barbadensis leaf juice, so aloe vera, and castor oil. It has cetyl alcohol, which is one of the good alcohols. There are 3 really good alcohols that you will find in your conditioners and some of your styling products. And then the butter is shea butter. So, sodium sterolithate or whatever. Anyway, acetates or something like that. This formulation works very well for keeping my hair moist. And so when Scarlett explains or describes the product, what she describes it as is the lock method all in one. Because you have your liquid, which is the aloe vera, you have your oil, your LOC, your liquid is your aloe vera, your oil is the castor oil, and your cream is the shea butter. So you have all 3 of those as highly concentrated ingredients in the product. And so even though that's more like a butter, like a creamy butter, and this one is more liquidy, this is the Get Slick Hair Smoothie. Let me see. See how it comes out like that? So this is more liquidy. And you know that as those of us who have low porosity hair tend to focus on using liquid-based leave-ins because they're going to be easier for our hair to receive. This is more liquidy to apply, but this one is more liquidy as far as when you put it on your hair and it moisturizes that low porosity hair. So this is the one that I recommend totally for low porosity hair. I would recommend either one, but this one by far is the best moisturizer, like I said, that I've used and works very well for this portion of my hair, which is extremely low porosity, which gets very little definition from the first 2 to 3 inches of my hair. So it's extremely low porosity. Water barely penetrates this portion of my hair. That's the truth. Okay. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. So how are we doing? What's the temperature like? How are you feeling? How are you guys doing this evening? Thank you for the hearts. Thank you, Little Heaven. Yeah, Unruly Coils, can you please tell me your name? Thank you, Jan. Chilling in Delaware. Okay, Morena. I'm chilling in the Bronx. I notice, and I work with a lot of clients, and very rarely, hi Kim, thank you. I notice that the crown section of the hair is usually different on everyone. And most of us, it's the portion where the lowest porosity is. No matter what the hair is like, that's where it's mostly low porosity. Ooh, you just had a thunderstorm. Oh my goodness. Wow, Donna. So, I hope you guys are safe, by the way. So I have had a few clients who actually have the loosest curl pattern right in the crown section. It's the weirdest thing. It's very few of them have very loose curl pattern, right there in the crown. But we all have different compositions. Most of us, it's very fine back here, and mine is like yours. The hair near the temple is a hot mess, but at the nape, the curls are gorgeous. Yes, yeah. So most of us, I've noticed, have more fine hair, in the nape section, and the really dense and low porosity hair in the center. You have 3 different textures, Morena. Yeah, like me. I think I have 4. I would say I have 4. And most of us do have quite a mix. And then I've had clients where, the front is extremely loose. You have these big loopy curls, and then on the sides it gets really tight, and in the back, it's doing something else. So we all have some crazy combinations, but it's very rare that I work with someone who it's all the same, because there's always a mixture. That's why when people say, what is your curl pattern or what is your hair type, I'm like, why even bother? We have so many things going on, in this massive mame of hair, that's on our heads. And so not to get so caught up on the patterns, but more so on understanding how to make sure you get moisture into your hair and that you're able to retain it. Because if you are not getting moisture in, and if you're getting the moisture in but it's leaving because you're not able to retain it, then you're going to struggle with keeping your hair moist, and you're going to struggle with keeping your hair in good condition, because it needs to have that balance of moisture and protein. And so people wrestle with whether or not they should do protein treatments because they're not, their hair is feeling like it's breaking or something like that. And so they use protein treatments to make their hair strong, but they don't realize it's really a moisture issue. The reason why your hair is breaking is because you don't have enough moisture and your hair has become dry and brittle. So if you already have dry, brittle hair, now it's breaking, and then you go and put a protein treatment on your hair, you're making it even worse, and you're going down a path of just extreme breakage, and then you think it's, oh, maybe I have excessive shedding, and you're not sure. So it's really important that people just, if it's possible, and I really highly recommend that you speak with a professional, even go see a professional, because sometimes when people explain their situation to me, they're explaining it based on what they understand. But then when I meet with them and I touch their hair, and I'm like, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different story. I didn't realize, I'm going to try this again. I think it was Kim. I didn't realize that you didn't know that. Yeah, it's so scary. People are often, asking me to recommend protein treatments, and I don't. I don't like to recommend protein treatments because I don't want people doing protein treatments on their hair, because oftentimes it's not a protein issue. Oftentimes it's really a moisture issue. You really mostly need protein treatments when you're doing heat styling and when your hair is chemically treated, because when your hair is chemically treated, that's when you're tearing away that layer, your cuticle layer, that is impacting the integrity of your hair strand, and that's when you need the reinforcement of protein. But when you're just, your regular styling, going week to week with your regular styling, you're putting braids in or whatever it is, your protective styling that you're doing, you don't necessarily need, like a heavy protein treatment. Yeah, you don't necessarily need, a protein treatment. You most likely just get the protein from your products. Like I have, 4 years of natural hair growth here on my head. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and stay on topic. So if you notice that I don't respond to your question, it's because I want to finish a thought. So please remember just to try and, give that to me again when I finish the question, because I do want to address your comments. But yeah, so if you are using products and you notice that it contains protein, then you're most likely getting the protein that you need. But then I know that there are people who are or recognize themselves as protein sensitive, and people have commented to me that I may be protein sensitive, and you may be right, but to a certain extent, because I have my main shampoo and conditioner for the most part for 4 years is a very protein based shampoo and conditioner. It's the Aveda Damage Remedy, which has a good level of protein and is also moisturizing. So I've always had that balance because I've used it and it's worked very well for me, even though I may have what's considered protein sensitive hair. D, yes, that's exactly what I was saying. When you have color treated hair, that is when you definitely need protein treatments, because if you've noticed, once you go from your virgin hair to color treated hair, you'll notice that the hair becomes more, the way that it handles, it feels like it has less of a spring to it, and it feels more, searching for the word, not limp. Well, you can pretty much say limp. Your curl is looser. It doesn't snap back the same way. That's when your hair is lacking. It's called, you would need like elasticity treatment. It's most likely elasticity. Thank you! Right on time. You would need an elasticity treatment. And so that's when you need protein. That's when your hair is lacking protein. Not when it's breaking. It's when it's losing that elasticity. When you pull it and it just goes like this, it goes limp, and it looks like it's relaxed hair, all the time. That's when you need protein treatments. And even if you do a protein treatment when your hair is like that, you still want to follow up with a moisturizing treatment. So you're always giving your hair moisture. But if you notice that your curl is not snapping back, that's when you most likely will need a protein treatment. But make sure you're checking to see what you've been doing with your styling. Did you incorporate heat styling? Did you sustain some heat damage? That's when you would need most likely protein treatment. If you moisturize and put hair up in the back more, will it stay moisturized? If you put your hair up, and let me know if I heard you correctly, because I was still talking when your question came through. So if you moisturize your hair and you put it up, what was the rest of the question? I just want to make sure, because I couldn't get it clearly. And you have to be careful too. Most likely you would need a protein treatment if you have sustained heat damage or if you have color treated hair. If you don't have either of those and your hair is, you notice it's acting kind of limp, just check to see if it's been a long time that you've removed product from your hair. Maybe you have a lot of product buildup. But if you have had, some heat styling, or if you've had, some color added to your hair, and you're experiencing where your curl is not snapping back, then most likely it is an elasticity issue, and so you would want to do a protein treatment with some help. This will help me explain to my clients. Oh, okay. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad to know that could be of help to you. Yeah, and so it's, when I do a consultation, I like to touch the hair. I like to ask a lot of questions. And what happens is sometimes people forget, some things that are going on. Will it stay moist? The nape is thick with low porosity hair. Will it stay moist? Okay, so here's the thing. With low porosity hair, moisture retention is better than, let's say, high porosity hair, but because you don't get as much moisture in initially, it's going to be a short while that it will last. Let me try and explain that another way. When you have normal porosity hair and the water pressure touches your hair and the water's going in, it will expand and you will get that moisture in, and it will retain, it'll hold on to a portion of that moisture. But when you have low porosity hair, the same level of pressure, the same amount of water, the same amount of time will penetrate the hair strand, but it will only expand a little bit. And so you only get a little bit in, and it will hold on to that little bit for a while, provided that you are moisturizing and sealing that moisture in. And when I say moisturizing, using something like, a moisturizer, like the Butter and Love pudding, or, this, and then sealing it with an oil or with a gel. For your style. So then whatever moisture you got in, it's going to take a long while for that little bit of moisture to get out, plus with the product on there, so it will hold on to that moisture. But it's just a small amount of moisture. So that's why it's so important for low porosity hair that you do have a good moisturizer that will keep, that little bit of moisture that you get, that will keep that in for as long as possible. The curl is bigger there, but less moist. Yeah, so that's just an indication of your curl pattern. which has absolutely nothing to do with your porosity. I have friends and I have clients who have, a much looser curl pattern than what I have going on here. And where it's low porosity, it's just going to behave the same way. So that's why we're often saying to people, it's not your curl pattern that's most important. It's really understanding how well your hair is able to receive and retain moisture that you need to be most concerned with, because that's going to help you understand what products you need to apply and how you need to apply the products to your hair. And then also understanding whether or not your hair is fine, medium, or coarse. And when we say coarse, the industry term, it really indicates, how thick the hair is. So coarse hair is very thick, and those who have the ethnicity that has the thickest, coarsest hair are those with more aligned with Asians, have the coarser hair. Their hair strands are so thick that when you're cutting their hair, as it comes off, it will cut you because it's so thick. So most of our Afro textured hair is on the fine side, and that's why it's so fragile, because it's fine. And when you're applying product to fine hair, you have to be careful, because if you put too much, then you'll overwhelm it. Even if you have a lot of hair like me, if it's a lot of very fine strands, you can overwhelm it. But I happen to know that my hair is more medium to coarse, so I can put a lot of product on. Have you found that low porosity hair grows slower? This is what I notice with low porosity hair. Because it doesn't get as much moisture in, depending on how low, extremely low the porosity is, it doesn't stretch as much, so it looks like it's shorter. That's one thing. Then because it's very hard to get the moisture in, it tends to be more on the dry side, and so it's more fragile. You have a tendency of seeing breakage. So in my own head of hair, I have a small portion, a small area where there is breakage, and I'd say it's very small, because that's where it's just so hard to get moisture in. It's like the hair, it's not that it doesn't grow, it just breaks off, and it's just a very small portion. I'd say if I wish I could show you, if the diameter, has about 50 hairs in that portion, then I probably have 50 hairs that have broken off, 50 to 100 hairs that have broken off in my crown section, because it just could not get moisture in. But the rest of it, it's there. It does not expand that much. I have 2 to 3 inches of hair that just will not get moisture in. I've noticed that since I do protein treatments, my ends have been very fuzzy, even after dusting it in. And I have a sewing portion left. Okay, so I'm going to answer that first part. And you're saying that you've used protein treatments and the ends of your hair are very fuzzy. Understand this. You're very welcome, by the way. Understand this, that when you're using protein treatments, if you're using them improperly or incorrectly, meaning that you don't really need it, then what you're doing is you're drying your hair out. And so the ends of your hair are more porous than the rest of your hair. So it could, if necessary, need more protein. But if it's not an elasticity issue, now you've just added more dryness to an area of hair that's already struggling to retain moisture. So that's most likely what you're experiencing with those fuzzy ends. So try to stay away from those heavy protein treatments and just use something that contains protein, and not necessarily do a protein treatment, unless you have color treated hair and unless you are doing a lot of heat styling. Most likely you don't need to do an extensive protein treatment. And if you are doing, you're very welcome. If you are doing, if you are getting your hair color treated, I encourage you to go to a professional. There are people who really specialize in color and will get you to the color that you desire in a safe manner, where they'll lift you in stages. Sometimes you'll go out and you'll buy this box color, and a box color is designed one size fits all. But our hair, as you know, we've talked about it, our hair is not one size fits all. Our hair has different porosity levels, our hair has different curl patterns, our hair has different textures. So when we as naturals go out and put a product on our hair that's designed for one size fits all, and it's a chemical processing product, then we're in the danger zone. So I encourage you to go to a professional who specializes in color and hair, because what they're going to do is they're going to put it on the portions, understanding that there are some portions that are going to need the product to sit for maybe 20 minutes in order to lift, and some portions only need it for 10 minutes, or they need, you know, different levels of processors, the volumes that you use, like a 10 volume, a 20 volume, a 30 volume, and so forth, and the timing. So they're able to look at your hair in sections, whereas it's harder to identify every portion of your hair that needs to be treated, you know, according to the number of minutes and the level of volume to use. So please, I encourage you, if you want to keep the hair on your head, you know, for a long period of time, if you want to retain length, use a specialist, you know, someone who really specializes in color, and then they'll also be able to give you the products that you need in order to maintain your hair from week to week in between, you know, your touch-ups. Do that, you know, if you really want to retain your hair. For those of you who just want to have fun with your hair, then just have fun with it. You know, people have different hair goals. You know, I'm here because I like to work with those who want to retain length, because that's my hair goal. What do I do about those loose gray hairs? You mean the ones on my head? They're still gray. When I was first noticing them, I used to pluck them, but I noticed that as I plucked them, I saw more of them, and then I started to be concerned about if I'm plucking too much, if I'm going to start to, you know, damage the follicles and not have any hair there, because I was noticing them more in my hairline. I don't know if you can see those little gray babies. See, gray hairs are going to be naturally resistant. They have no pigment. They're going to fade. And in order to color them, you know, if you're using, they're hard to curl. They may curl. Some people actually do get a little bit of a curl, but they're very resistant. It's very resistant hair. So I usually just let it do its thing. If it gets to be too, you know, too wild, you know, maybe I'll start to use, they have these color things that go on like a, I don't have it here, it's in my bag, but they go on like, you know, the, I'm not a makeup person. What is it called? Like, no, not rods. No, you know the thing that you put on your eyelashes? Forgive me, because I'm not really a makeup person, but mascara. They have like an applicator, like a mascara. Thank you. See, you come right after I get it. Thank you, Kim. So they use like mascara to color those portions, so that way you're not putting a chemical throughout your whole head just because you want to cover up those grays. You're just getting those portions that stand out in the front, like mine, and then forget about all the stuff in the middle, because they're not going to see it unless it's on the top. So it depends on how you part your hair. Yeah, I'm just not interested in putting, you know, any more chemicals in my hair after having been relaxed for 15 years straight, and now I'm natural for 4 years. I want to just keep my hair natural and deal with it as it comes. And like I said, you know, it's been 4 years, and unless it gets really unruly, I think I'm fine with my gray hairs. But a lot of people do like to cover their gray hairs, and so that's why I recommend, if you're going to color it, go to a specialist. Do I use rods to color my grays? I don't have that much right now. From Donna, do you have a recommendation for a deep conditioner? And thank you so much. For a deep conditioner, I only recommend those things that I use, right? And so I've shared with everyone, I think, in the video, shampoos and conditioners, some of the deep conditioners that I like. I think Shea Moisture, no, I know. Shea Moisture has 2 of them that I like. And I don't have the titles. Those titles are really crazy, but I think it was like the Manufa and Mafura oil one, their hydration line. That one is very moisturizing, very hydrating. I also like the one by TGIN, the Honey Miracle Mask. Very nicely moisturizing. I used to use the Alakay Naturals Honey and Sage Deep Conditioner. I really like that, but I switched to the Shea Moisture one. And then I also recently tried, and I'm going to do a thorough review, so I'll share it later. There's deep conditioners, 2 deep conditioners that I've used from Fortified Naturals, and so I'm still working on putting together a review for you guys for that. But in my salon, I also have some special conditioners, moisturizers that I add to the mix that you can't buy over the counter. And so for that, you know, it's professional use only. That's the only way, you know, you can get it as a licensed stylist. And so there's some extra, you know, tools that we get to use in the salon so we can give you a boost of moisture that you can't get over the counter. So yeah, those are some of the things I use. And then of course, if those of you who know, I've used, you can certainly use rods, you know, for your gray hair. Absolutely, it's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to hurt anything at all. And back to, you know, the deep conditioners. I think I had mentioned, you know, in the very beginning, this was the deep conditioner I used to use, this mask by Aveda. It's the Damage Remedy Intensive Restructuring Treatment. And so this was another deep conditioner that I used that was good for me. And this is mostly, again, this is mostly protein based, but it's also, you know, moisturizing at the same time. And I used this for several years, and my hair, you know, was pretty much in good condition. So as long as you're not using anything too extreme when you don't need it, our hair can withstand, you know, just regular gentle measures to cleanse and condition. It's when we start to do things that are more extreme that we need more extreme measures in order to condition our hair. So if you're doing things, ooh, people are getting loud out there. If people are doing things that are putting more wear and tear on their hair, then you tend to need more treatments. And that's why on my channel, like I share simple tips. If you keep it simple, then it doesn't take a lot to maintain it. It's when you start to really rip on your hair and really put a lot of stress on it by doing a lot of heat styling, and even, you know, people who do protective styling, you go through a series of weeks without conditioning your hair that, you know, can lead your hair to wearing down very quickly or becoming weak. Overnight conditioning, I don't do it because my scalp would be irritated. Your scalp can become, you know, inflamed from keeping product on your hair that wasn't intended to stay on your hair, you know, for that long a period of time. You know, most deep conditioners are designed to stay on your hair or recommended to stay on your hair for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I see your question. And then you have regular conditioners, which are really designed to stay on your hair for only 5 minutes. And people are putting them on and keeping them on for several hours, where the benefit of it has already you know, gone out after the first 5 minutes for a normal conditioner, normal rinse out, or after 30 minutes for a leave-in conditioner. So I think it was Kim, I think I said that correctly, had asked me if I do a lot of protective styling. And you know, protective styling is a term that's been used for styles that where you put your hair in maybe braids or twists, and you do not manipulate the hair for several weeks, you know, and you leave it, you have your ends tucked or something like that. I don't do anything like that. I like for my hair to be loose or able to cleanse and condition on a weekly basis. And so for me, I consider my hair protected because I'm applying styling products that are designed to keep my hair, keep the moisture sealed in, or keep my style, hold my style, and seal the moisture in. For me, that's protective styling. Anything that's going to keep my hair well conditioned, to me, is protective styling. And now you're asking me about the curly girl method, girl. Me and that curly girl method, we got a thing where we don't agree. I am a curly girl because I wear my hair curly. It's natural curl. I wet my hair, you know, once a week. I drench it, you know, I shampoo, and I condition my hair. I cleanse and condition my hair once a week. The curly girl method, from my understanding, is opposed to using shampoo. You know, it's a no poo method. It's conditioner washing only. And I do not agree with that at all. I believe sincerely, as a licensed professional, your hair and your scalp needs to be cleansed. Right. And what I want people to do when you are evaluating a method, I encourage you to really, when you're researching, research the background of those who are promoting, you know, that method. You know, how long have they been using that method, and what does their hair look like, and are they color treating their hair in order to keep it looking luster and shiny? Because I understand that there are some people who their hair looks nice and shiny, but they're also using glossing treatments and color treatments to make their hair, you know, give their hair like, what is it called? Low lights. If they have dark hair, it looks natural, but they're putting color on it to give it a shine. I don't have to put color on my hair to give it a shine when I want my hair to be shiny. I just use something that's a little bit more moisturizing and go less on the fluff. You know, my hair, you've seen me do demonstrations of my hair. I cleanse my hair every, I cleanse my hair, you know, every week. I cleanse and condition. You know, to me, not using a shampoo, that's what they do. Leave-in conditioner, that's what they do. I'm not sure, I'm not following you. So, but yeah, with conditioner washing, to me, it's like taking a shower and using lotion rather than soap. I mean, granted, you know, your skin may feel dry if you just put soap on your skin and not put any lotion on. But if you follow up with lotion, then it will soften and smooth your skin. But you don't want to forego cleansing your body just because, you know, your skin will feel dry after you use soap. You put lotion on after you cleanse your body. It's the same thing with your hair. Your hair is an extension of your body. It's skin. You know, so clean your scalp and clean your hair. You don't have to do like 2 shampoo washes. You could just do the shampoo on the scalp and then bring it through the hair and then rinse it off. But these shampoos are designed to lift and to remove that which is going to be binding to your hair, anything that's dust and dirt and debris and oils and sweat, all that stuff is just going to be removed from your scalp. So you start off with a clean slate every week, and then you follow up with a conditioner that is designed to smooth and soften your hair. That's why it's called a conditioner. I'm so much in favor of shampooing and conditioning as an entire, you know, regimen every week. And this is 4 years of growth, 4 years of shampoo and conditioner every week. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. There are a lot of misconceptions, and people are so concerned about drying their hair out. The Curly Girl method results in buildup. Yes, it does. Thank you, Divine and Course. Most think it means kinky. You're very welcome, Jan. Absolutely. 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 And thank you for the hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you guys asked me about the Curly Girl method. You have no idea. My heart starts racing when we start talking about that Curly Girl method, because I believe that there's so many people who so strongly believe in it. And I'm like, I'm here and I'm telling you, listen, I have, you know, my hair regimen is not a coincidence. It's very methodical. It's very thought out. I don't bounce around, you know, with a whole lot of products. Speaking of which, I'm going to talk about this probably in another scope later this week. I have a number of inbox questions that people have sent to me that I have to get back to people. And so what I plan to do, this is my regularly scheduled scope. I'm going to come on as, you know, when possible. Yeah, I know there's so much miseducation out there. I'm going to come on, you know, during the week with topical, you know, scopes where I'm going to hit on certain things that people have been asking me, and it's just been hard to answer, you know, everyone in a timely fashion. And I don't want people to think that I'm ignoring them. It's just I get a lot of email, a lot of inbox questions, and a lot of direct mail questions as well on Instagram. And I work, you know, and I'm busy. And so I want to be able to give you a thorough response. And so it may be easier for me to compile, you know, some of my responses and then do them here on the scope and then upload them. We appreciate you. That's why. Thank you so much. And then I will likely upload them, you know, on YouTube. Now that we can do this landscape, it'll be easier for you all to look at it in that way. So I will address some of those questions. And so one of them was, you know, people often ask me, what products do I recommend for certain situations? And what I like to tell people is I would only recommend something that I've used. You know, I know other people are using things and other people are giving reviews of other things. I only recommend the products that I use. So all of my videos show you the products that I use and what my thoughts are on those products. And now that we're moving away from the summer, I feel comfortable trying some more products. So I will be doing more product reviews, and I'll be able to give you more recommendations for what you can use, especially now that we're moving to a new climate, for what you can use now that we're getting into the cooler months. I hope to have that for you soon. But I have to try it on my hair first before I put it on my clients, because I want to know how my hair behaves, how my hair reacts, even though it's going to react differently. Same thing happens with those with low porosity hair. I have, clients who have low porosity hair, their hair responds differently to certain products than for mine. When you wear your hair straight, do you use the same moisturizing products? No. No, I don't. The reason why I don't use the same products is because when my hair is straightened, all of the products go in first. All of the wet products go in first, because once your hair is straightened, you don't want anything wet going onto the hair because your hair will revert. So all of the wet products go on first to give me the moisture, and then the more oil-based products come on after the hair has been straightened. But I don't straighten my hair that often. In fact, I have not straightened my hair this year at all. The last time I straightened my hair was in November of last year. So I have a video showing when my hair was straightened, and I listed all the products that the lady, my stylist, used. I listed all those products. So you can see that. The title of the video on my YouTube channel, Embrace Natural Beauty, the title of that video is, I think it's Straightening Natural Hair, and it would have been uploaded in November. And it was followed by tips on trimming, straightened natural hair. So both of those videos are back to back, and the image, of me would be with my hair straight. So it'd be easier for you to find. I know I have 50 videos, but that would be easy for you to find. Absolutely. Thank you, Donna. I hope that it's helpful to you, because it's very key. You want to get the moisture in first, and then you need to retain that moisture and seal it with oils. Oh, wow. So I want to thank you all for joining. If there are no other questions, I know it's fairly late. I'm here for you. So if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. But I also want to be mindful that people do need to get up, and it's almost 10:30 because I started the scope late. I apologize again, but I thank you all for checking in and hanging out with me tonight. For those who've joined in later on and didn't get my introduction, you're very welcome, Kim. For those of you who didn't get my introduction, my name is Abena Palmore. I am a licensed cosmetologist, a licensed stylist. You're very welcome, Jan. I see clients here at the salon in the Bronx. I live in the Bronx, and I work in the Bronx in a salon called the Gifted Hair Clinic. It's located at 3511-1 Boston Road, which is a corner of Eastchester, near Co-op City in the Bronx, northern Bronx, near Westchester. And I do take clients between Tuesdays and Saturdays. You're very welcome, Marlena. And so if you're able to, if you're in the New York City metro area, you're welcome to schedule an appointment with me, and you can do that at styleseat.com/Abena Palmore. And I'll be happy to, work with you directly with your hair care concerns and needs. And then you can also find me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Embrace Natural Beauty, where it is my goal to share simple tips and techniques that have been helpful to me in my own natural hair journey, that have helped me to maintain my hair, keep it in good condition, and retain length, which has been my hair goal. And I want all of you, my viewers and my followers, to also keep your hair in good condition, to maintain it well, so that you retain length and enjoy your hair and embrace natural beauty of your own. You can find me there on YouTube, as well as on Facebook at Embrace Natural Beauty. And on Instagram, you can find me at Embrace_natural_beauty. And you can also find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Twitter and here on Periscope at Embrace, capital letter N for natural beauty. So that's Embrace in Beauty. I thank you all for tuning in with me this evening. And again, this is my regularly scheduled scope time, Sunday evenings. And I heard, some of you would like for me to come on earlier. So what I'm going to do is next week, Sunday, I'm going to come on the scope at 8:30. And so if you are able to come on at 8:30, I'll be here to chat with you. And if you're still able to come on at 9, I may be still scoping, because you see I stay on for as long as necessary to answer your questions. And so again, I will come on Sundays on next Sunday at 8:30. Hey girl. And then like I said, I will scope some in between during the week to answer some direct questions that I've received in my inbox, either on Facebook or directly in my email or on DM and Instagram. There are different places. Oh, and also I get inboxed on YouTube as well when people don't go into the comment section. Some people send me private questions. So ladies and gentlemen, I know there's some gentlemen here. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and I hope this has been helpful to you. You can let me know by the hearts, and I look forward to you have a blessed evening as well, Donna. I look forward to the next time that we're able to be on the scope together. Until then, may you have a wonderful evening. May you have a wonderful week, and may you keep your hair in good condition. Maintain it well. Enjoy your hair and embrace natural beauty of your own. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you. Good night.